like to start this talk with a confession. Over the last 30 years, I've been fired, removed, or quietly sidelined for more consulting engagements than I care to count. Generally, I wasn't fired because I was wrong. I wasn't fired because I didn't know how to solve the problem. I was fired because I did know how to solve the problem. And I made the mistake of assuming the organization actually wanted it solved. If you're a change agent, if you're the person who looks at a broken process, a toxic culture, or a massive inefficiency and says, we can do better than this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know the feeling of bringing a perfectly logical, data-driven solution to your leadership team, only to watch it die a slow, quiet death in committee. You more than likely have experienced the Zealot's dilemma. The very qualities that make you valuable, your ability to see waste, your drive to fix it, your refusal to accept dysfunction as normal, are the exact same qualities that make you a threat to the status quo. Today I want to talk about why that happens. I want to talk about why the invisible immune system that organizations use to protect themselves from change, and most importantly, I want to give you a survival guide. Because the world desperately needs you to raise the dead in your organizations. But you cannot do it if the zombie factory expels you first. When an organization decides it needs to change, it usually buys a shiny object. 10 years ago it was Agile. Today it's artificial intelligence. Leadership will stand up at a town hall and announce a massive transformation. But then, almost immediately, they will say something that should send a chill down the spine of every change agent in the audience. They'll say, we want to do Agile or AI, but we want to do it our way. I call this the transformation illusion. It is the phenomenon where leadership adopts the vocabulary and the rituals of transformation while actively protecting the industrial age environment that the transformation is meant to replace. We want to do it our way is a logical contradiction dressed up as a pragmatism. If your way works so well, why did you need a transformation in the first place? But the resistance is not intellectually dishonest. It is something much deeper. Think about a senior level who has spent 20 or 30 years climbing the corporate ladder, the command and control structure, the approval chains, the status meetings. These are not just policies to them. These are the behaviors that have produced their promotions, their titles, and their compensation. When you, the change agent, walk into their office and introduce information age thinking, when you tell them to distribute decision-making and empower their teams, you're not presenting them with new data. You're telling them that their belief system that explains their entire professional identity is wrong. You're challenging the story they tell themselves about why they deserve to be in the room. Cognitive science is unambiguous on what happens next. When a belief system is tied to identity, facts and logic stop working. The brain treats the challenge as a physical threat. The leader will nod, they will approve the initiative, and then quietly and without conscious intent, they will reinstall every industrial age practice that made them successful. Because those practices are not just how they manage, they are who they are. Let me tell you what happens when you challenge that identity directly. Early in my career, I built a custom data entry application for a market research firm. During testing, I noticed that the system performance was degrading as data accumulated. I had diagnosed the problem immediately. It was a sequential database scan. I knew exactly what needed to be changed. It required altering a single character in the code. I made the change, and the performance issue was instantly resolved. The next day I was called into the IT manager's office, chastised for not following change management protocols, and then removed from the project. Eventually I was fired. Think about what that means. A developer identified a critical defect during testing, which is exactly when defects are supposed to be found. applied a targeted, single-character solution, and was terminated for using his expertise to protect the project. The organization's need to control the process was more important than the outcome of the process was meant to produce. I saw an even more destructive version of this at a large consulting firm. The firm was selling agile transformations, but they had engineered a perfect system for guaranteeing failure. They rewarded partners for billable hours, not for client success. They sold adaptive agile work using rigid, flexible scope waterfall contracts. And during negotiations, they removed the expert coaches from the deal to make the price look better. It was a systemic bait and switch. The firm got its billable hours, the client got the illusion of progress, and the coaches were benched. Several of us tried to intervene. We went to the contracting team with the business case. We weren't trying to protect our jobs, we were trying to protect the integrity of the work. We were met with polite indifference. The system was not designed to be fixed. It was designed to close contracts. This is the most insidious form of political resistance. It's not a saboteur you can contain. It is a system perfectly designed to get the results it is getting, even if those results are destroying value. And if you attack that system head on, the system's going to fire back. So, how do you survive? How do you drive change without becoming a casualty of the organizational immune system? First, you have to stop trying to win the argument. The Zealot leader understands that you cannot defeat an identity-level belief with a PowerPoint deck. Instead of arguing, you must change the environment. You create the conditions where the new behaviors produce visible results and where the old behaviors produce visible friction. You let the zombie leader arrive at the new understanding on their own terms. Second, you must learn to navigate the three types of resistance you will face. The intellectual skeptics, engage them because their questions will make your plan better. You will face the emotional cynics. Empathize with them because they're carrying the scar tissue of past failed transformations. And you will face the political saboteurs, the people who see your change as a threat to their fiefdom. Don't try to convert them, contain them. Build a guiding coalition so strong that the saboteurs are isolated. Third and most importantly, find the burning platform. Don't start your transformation by attacking the hardest, most politically sensitive problem. Start with the problem that everyone already agrees is a problem. Find the team that is in the most pain and go there first. When you solve a problem that everyone knows is broken, you stop being the person with the theory and you start being the person with the track record. That is the only currency that matters. Being a change agent is not comfortable. It will cost you relationships. Sometimes it will cost you your job. But it is the only work that produces something real. Every zombie in your organization was once a zealot. Something you built or something you inherited, chose not to change, turned on them. They're waiting for someone with the courage to name the dysfunction. They're waiting for someone to clear the path. Do not let the immune system win. Don't let the transformation illusion stand. Learn the politics, build your coalition, and change the environment. The people are already there. They're waiting. Go raise the dead. Thank you.